Last time I explained how complex waves are made up of multiple, simple sine wave frequencies called harmonics. Our hearing blends these into a single perceived pitch at the lowest, or fundamental frequency, and a richer tone, or timbre, thanks to the presence of the other higher harmonics, which give the wave its complex shape. I used a vibrating string as an example, but the same thing happens in any instrument, like the column of air in a wind instrument, or whatever. Of course, if all instruments and voices produced the same blend of harmonics, then they'd all still sound the same. Brighter and richer in tone than sine waves, but not as distinct and different as they do in reality. Fortunately, when a real instrument vibrates in a complex pattern, there are other physical elements that interfere, altering the balance of harmonics, and even generating additional sine wave frequencies between the harmonics. I'll use a guitar string as an example. If the string just floated in the air, vibrating, we'd see something like the classic blend of harmonics, as I described in the previous tutorial. In fact, I could electronically generate a test tone like this, with all the harmonics at the standard frequencies and amplitudes. It'd have this shape, and it's called a sawtooth wave. Another test tone, but one that's also used as a building block for creating musical sounds in analog synthesizers. But in the real world, our tension guitar string has to be attached to something. It connects to the rest of the guitar, touching the nut and the bridge, which is, in turn, connected to the wooden top and sides of the guitar. All of these physical components will also vibrate along with the attached string. Now, in the physical world, everything has a tendency to vibrate most strongly at certain frequencies, due to the relationship of the size of the object and the wavelength of those frequencies, and other factors. These emphasized frequencies are called resonances. When the guitar string vibrates, it'll stimulate the resonances of the parts of the guitar it's connected to, and these elements will also begin to vibrate, emphasizing the harmonics that correspond to these resonant frequencies. These vibrations will add to the string's vibration, changing the balance of harmonics and altering the overall tone of the instrument. Plus, the vibrations that correspond to the resonances of, say, the wood, will back up into the string, changing the vibrational pattern on the string itself, and when some of these vibrating components tend to resonate at frequencies that are not harmonics, additional sine wave frequencies may be created, making the tone even more distinct and more specific to that particular instrument. That's why, even though a piano and a guitar both have vibrating strings, they sound very different. And it's why, even though two brands of guitars may have the same overall construction, and even use the same brand of strings, they'll also sound distinctly different. Different woods, different resonances, different interferences between the elements of the guitars will give each one its own unique tonal quality. When you include both harmonic and non-harmonic components of a complex wave shape, all the individual sine wave elements together are called overtones or partials. Overtones start with the second harmonic, partials includes the fundamental. This is the frequency spectrum of a complex wave. The particular blend of these elements accounts for the unique tone of each instrument or voice. In real acoustic instruments, the amplitudes of each partial also change over the length of a note, giving it that rich shifting quality we tend to like. You can see this on a frequency response or spectrum graph. Real instrument spectra are constantly shifting, as you can see. In the next two installments, I'll talk more about how the spectral content of complex waves affects tone.